Hi all, I just reread a book that I read maybe 3 years ago again, and I have to tell you about it, and I'd love for you to read it. It's called The Senator's Wife by Constantine. I actually listened to it on audio. Sometimes I like to listen to books on audio and then read them, or read them and then listen on audio. It just depends on a lot of factors. But I absolutely love this book, and I want to tell you what it's about, and then I want to tell you something else. I will never give away spoilers, but I would love for you to read it. I really like Liv Constantine. There's not one of her books that I've read that I haven't liked. Now, some I like more than others, but I'm going to say that this is one of my favorites. I like it, I would say, as well as her series on Mrs. Parrish. So I'm going to say that, and I will explain why in a minute, why I loved it so much. But it's basically about a senator's wife, and she's happily married to a guy named Robert. And Robert and her name is Sloane, they are friends with another couple. And they're friends with a guy named Whitman Montgomery, and his wife Peg, who kind of have not the best of marriages. And bottom line is, there was an accident, and I'll just say that, where both Robert, so Sloane's husband, who she dearly loves, and Whit's wife, I think her name is Peg if I'm not mistaken, they both pass away. They both are unalived, okay? And so that's kind of where the story it begins with when they're alive, and there's kind of a ruckus, and there's an accident, and that's kind of what happens, all right? So you'll find out more about that later in the story. So then after the accident, all of a sudden you hear about Sloane and Whit are now married. They fall in love, okay? But she still has feelings for her first husband because that was the love of her life, okay? And so you know about that. Well, Sloane has lupus, so she has some health issues. She's going to get a hip replacement, and she has a nurse come take care of her, whose name is Athena. And so she comes and takes care of her, but Sloane seems to be getting worse, okay? She's having hallucinations. Her health is really declining, and you get to find out about that as well. Now, I will just tell you, it starts off kind of slow, but as it goes, it just takes off. And this is what I love about this book. You really get to know the characters. That's one of the first things I love about Liv Constantine, is she does excellent character analysis and deep dives where you get to know them. Number one. Number two, there aren't too many characters. And the biggest thing that I loved about this book is I remembered one of the twists, but there's actually, and a lot of books have a twist at the end, but there are 3 twists in this book. So you get the gift of 3 twists. And 2 of the 3 twists I had forgotten about. I forgot about 2 of the 3 twists, so it made it an extra surprise. I highly recommend reading this book. And if you don't want to read the Mrs. Parrish, because to read the Mrs. Parrish, you really need to read 2 books, kind of like a trilogy, but it's 2 books. With this, if you want to dabble and see if you like Liv Constantine, this would be a good book to start with, but be patient at the beginning, because as it goes on, you're going to think that you know what's going on, but let me tell you, you do not. So bottom line, here it is, Sloane, she's, now remarried to Whit, and, they appear to be happily married, and, they're involved in the political world and all of that, and you get to learn more about the characters, you get to know about, their past, what happened in their past, and it just keeps getting better and better. And who is this caregiver? Why is Sloane getting worse? So it's all about that. But there are some twists and turns at the end that I can promise you that the 3 twists that I saw, I would never have seen coming. None of the 3 I would have guessed in a million years. So let me know if any of you have read The Senator's Wife by Liv Constantine, or any of you interested in putting it on your TBR, to be read list. That's all I have to say for now. Love you, appreciate you, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.